Hey, everybody, it is time for my week 4 NFL picks. And before I get to my picks, let's welcome back, by popular demand, DK.
Thanks, man. Oh, yeah, we did college. Now we're going to do NFL, so
Yep.
looking forward to it.
Before we get to the NFL picks, let's briefly talk about how I did last week. I did not do good. I went 6-10 on my
Damn.
picks.
Ooh, brutal.
Yeah.
I had an okay week. I had the Miami Dolphins over the Bills because if you guys listen to our podcast previewing the NFL, I was the one that picked the Dolphins to win the AFC East.
You did.
Some people laughed. Some people wanted me to do a drug test, but
Not me.
wasn't Bill that wanted me to do a drug test, but he did say this is an easy one, and then I kind of shocked him by taking the Dolphins.
You did.
Yeah, I also had I had the 49ers and I had the Giants. So the night primetime games didn't go my way last week, but we're gonna
I
bounce
had
back.
I had Dallas on Monday night, so that was one of my.
Yeah, Cooper Rush undefeated as a starter. QB controversy in Dallas. I'm hearing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, these are straight up picks. We will mention the point spread, and let's get to the games. Starting off with the Thursday night game, the Miami Dolphins travel to Cincinnati to play the Bengals. Dolphins 3-0, Bengals 1-2, Cincinnati favored by 4 points.
yeah, this is a tough one because you don't know the quarterback status for Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Tua, little controversy there.
Yeah.
Was he concussed? Did he have a back injury? Is that why he was wobbling? Not sure really what happened there. He did come back and played a great second half. Short weeks are tough. I'm going to take the Bengals here for a straight up pick 'em,
All
but
right.
I would probably have Miami with the points. So if we're doing straight up,
All
I
right.
guess like the college picks, it's Cincinnati in a very close game.
This is a tough game to pick. I agree with you on that. I'm going with Miami on this one only because I believe they have the better options at wide receiver than Cincinnati does at this point in time. And their offense has just been on fire the last couple of weeks. So I'm going to take the Dolphins to win this one, but I do think it'll be a close game.
And it's crazy. Like if you had said that preseason, I would have been like T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd. What are you talking about? But Jalen Waddle has been awesome. Tyreek Hill has been as advertised.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all about the Dolphins this year, but in this game, it just short week going on the road. It's tough.
Yeah.
So like this is probably like in my pick 'em pool that I do, we don't do Thursday games. So like this one would be a very tough decision for me.
Yeah.
But it's cool. Yeah, we're already debating each other here. One game in, so
We're already off to a good start.
nice.
All right. Now to the Sunday games, and we're going to start with the game in England. The Minnesota Vikings are going to face the New Orleans Saints. Minnesota 2-1, New Orleans 1-2. Minnesota favored by a field goal.
And me being a New Orleans Saints diehard fan, got to wake up early, 7:30 a.m. for me for the London game. Be having some coffee and watching. Hopefully, Jameis Winston not throw picks. There's been talk about Andy Dalton possibly starting this game with the injuries.
Right.
It does sound like Winston will be the starter, but I guess we'll see what happens. This is the second game in a row. We don't know who's going to play quarterback. I think the Saints defense can hold the Vikings to maybe 17 points. So as long as they don't make too many mistakes on offense, I think the Saints can win this. The Vikings are the very small favorite, right? 2.5 points.
3 points.
3 points. Okay. I'm going to take the Saints here. In a close, probably low-scoring contest.
I am going to go with the Vikings on this one. This will be another close game, and I mean, I am concerned about Jameis Winston. He has the 4 fractures in his back. I don't know how in the world he's playing football right now.
Yeah, he also has an ankle injury too of his like push off throw, like
So,
how he throws it. So
I mean, you can't question the guy's, guts for playing
yeah,
what he's got. I just think Minnesota is just a little bit better than New Orleans. Um, I like the way they came back to beat Detroit last week. That was a good comeback win. So I'm just gonna go with Minnesota on this one.
so off to a good start here. We're both taking opposite teams two games in a
Yeah.
row. Let's see if we can get one where we agree.
All right. Well, I think it's going to be this next one because
We'll see.
the Washington Commanders travel to Dallas to play the Cowboys. The Commanders are 1-2. The Cowboys 2-1. Dallas favored by 3.5, which is very surprising to me. I thought it would be at least a touchdown.
Yeah, Cooper Rush is like he's managing the game. He's
Mhm.
not making mistakes, and Washington doesn't look very good at all. Like last week, Carson Wentz in a revenge game, he just looked lost at times. Like, is it going to be Sam Howell time this year? Like, I wouldn't be surprised. I think they wanted to wait for him, but yeah, I think Dallas wins this. I think the point spread is ridiculous. I think this could be a double-digit win for Dallas here, and I'm definitely taking the Cowboys in a straight-up pick 'em.
I mean, I am a Commanders, Redskins football
Command skins, right?
yeah, fan.
The
And
command skins.
it was brutal to watch last week, that game. I mean, there was
Yeah.
no protection in that offensive line. And Philadelphia, to their credit, was able to prevent, the deep threats, Curtis Samuel, um, God, I can't think of his name right now.
Dotson.
Dotson, McLaurin, they were able to prevent them. And now to their credit, though, their defense held up a good portion of that game.
Yeah.
To their credit,
And the Eagles are a top team this year.
yeah, they are. It's
no
just,
joke.
it's just, they just were out there too much.
Yeah.
I don't know how in the world Washington's offensive line is going to deal with Micah Parsons. I think he will play this week. And I'm going to say the Cowboys win this game. I think they're just better than Washington at this point in time. I don't think it's early. I don't think it's too early yet to go, sound the alarm, get the rookie in there. If they have to switch, give Heineke a chance because he's proven himself to be a decent quarterback. He can win you games.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not pushing the button yet. But I'm going to go.
See, if you look at Sam Howell, he like the year before, he was the consensus first overall pick coming out.
Yeah.
Went back for 1 year. I don't know if he went back or he just like when they projected it, he was still a year away from the draft. And he kind of fell, like similar to Matt Barkley did when he was going to be the number one pick. So he has that potential. So I would wait if I was Washington.
Oh, I would too.
Let him sit there, learn the playbooks, learn the schemes, watch the other team's defense film all year and an off season. Because like you look at Malik Willis throwing him in against Buffalo, like that was the worst thing that Tennessee could have done. It's to shatter a kid's confidence that early. So
yeah.
So we're both on Dallas.
We're both on Dallas this week.
All right, congrats to the Commanders. Congrats. Probably an upset win here.
And we don't even know, honestly, before we go to the next game, we don't even know if Dak Prescott's going to play this week.
Well, there was reports that is ridiculous. That's got to be Jerry Jones just kind of like setting things up. I think potentially he could come back against the Rams, but I would even like if you got a thumb issue and you got Aaron Donald running at you, I think maybe wait till after the bye week.
Yeah.
It's going to be Dallas and the Eagles in the East. They're going to need Dak. Cooper Rush isn't going to be undefeated his whole life.
Yeah.
Eventually, they're going to need him. So,
all right. The Cleveland Browns travel Atlanta to play the Falcons. Cleveland 2-1, Atlanta 1-2. The Browns are favored by 1.5 points.
Yeah, this is basically a pick 'em. Miles Garrett involved in a car accident yesterday.
Yeah,
Is he,
no serious injuries. He
is
was
he
banged
gonna
up.
play? Well, it seemed like his injuries from the car accident seemed like pretty significant for football. Not life threatening, but
Not life threatening.
like
Yeah,
shoulder strain and
bicep.
lacerations and other things.
Yeah,
Stuff you need when you're rushing a passer. Miles Garrett, without Miles Garrett, I think Cleveland still wins this game. Um, I I think the point spread is a little. I don't know. I don't. I'd see it being more like a 6.5 point game for Cleveland here. Atlanta hasn't shown a whole lot,
yeah,
so yeah, I'm taking Cleveland on the road here.
yeah. I'm going to take Cleveland as well on this one. And I said this to my dad last week when we were watching the Thursday night game. The quarterback they got in there for now, the Browns, Jacoby Brissett. He
Yeah,
could be, he could be a starter in this league
yeah, he has
because
been before.
I mean he almost took the Colts to the playoffs after Andrew Luck retired.
Hmm.
He's got the Browns in a 2-1 record right now. They should be 3-0 if it hadn't been for that debacle with the Jets a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you this question that I asked my dad, and everyone who's watching this or listening to this, you can reply to this question however you want. Um, let's say the Browns have a really good record by the time Deshaun Watson comes back. Do you switch Brissett for Watson once the suspension is up, or do you keep Jacoby in there? Because if he has a really good record, if they're like, how many games was it? A 10 or 11 game suspension?
Well, he comes back week 13
Okay,
because there's a bye in there,
all right. So let's say they go
and he
like,
comes back to face the Texans, which is kind of ironic.
let's say they're like 7-3 at
Yeah.
that time. Do you keep your current quarterback in, or do you go to the guy that you overpaid?
Well, yeah, that's so. Oh man, overpaid is an understatement.
Yeah.
What's Lamar Jackson going to make? Like 800 million guaranteed? Like Jesus, he's his own agent too. He doesn't even have to give
Mm-hmm.
any of it. Okay, what it kind of depends. Like if Jacoby Brissett is just managing the game and they're winning with the run game and defense, then they're going to bring Deshaun in. If like Brissett's throwing 4 or 5 touchdowns a game, 300 yards, no interceptions, then maybe you don't want to mess with that chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
But I really like, especially with that owner there, like Watson's coming in unless they're like 11-1, even if 11-1.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, and I'll probably come back to this question again in a month. For right now, you keep the current quarterback that you got in there for right now.
Yeah,
Let's see
correct.
how it is in a month. If they're still as good, in a position to win the division or get in the playoffs, keep them in. But
Yeah,
let's see where we are a month from now.
and Deshaun Watson kind of gets this, like everyone overvalues him. I think
Mm-hmm.
like how he got paid. Like that's how you pay someone that's made it to a Super Bowl
Yeah.
or won an MVP or done what Josh Allen has been doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like Deshaun Watson, his win-loss record is like mediocre. His numbers are mediocre. He doesn't stay healthy. And then all the baggage that came with that.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. Like, he does do some remarkable stuff on the field. And, like, I've seen it, hence I saw a Texans Saints game live, and like, he's an incredible athlete, and he can win those games for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I don't think it's like they're paying for what they want him to do, not what he's done.
Yeah.
So, but sorry, this is taking a little bit long for me to get my answer out, but I think almost 100% he will be starting against the Texans.
Okay. All right. The Seahawks travel to Detroit to play the Lions. Both teams are 1-2. The Lions are favored by 4.5.
Yeah, this is like the Lions been favored twice now this year.
Yeah.
and they hadn't been
And they're
favored.
1-0 right now on that.
They haven't been favored in a couple years. It's
Mhm.
awesome to see. I kind of behind closed doors root for the Lions because of all the hardships they've had over the years.
Mhm.
I got the Lions in this game. I think they're going to win big. Jared Goff's been playing really well. That offense is humming, and when Jamison Williams comes off injury, they're going to have that speed threat down the field.
Yeah.
I really like the Lions this week. I think they're going to cover that spread too. I could almost see it being a double-digit victory for Detroit.
This is another team that you could make a legit argument should be 3-0 right now.
Yeah.
I am also
Especially last week.
Yeah. I'm also going with Detroit on this one. I don't know what it is, but I think it was probably me watching them play Washington a couple of weeks ago. They've kind of won me over so far. And if they're in a position towards the end where they could make the wild card, then I think they're going to have people rooting for them. So
Yeah,
I'm going with
for sure.
Detroit. They've got a really good offense. That's a scary offense. And that defense with Hutchinson there.
Yeah.
Glad he's in the North. That's all I'm going to say. I'm glad he's in the North.
Hutchinson is one of the best pass rushers in the league right now.
Yeah.
If he figures out how to stop the run and maybe play coverage in certain situations, he can be like I said in the podcast, he could be Nick Bosa. That's who I compare him to with.
All right. The Tennessee Titans travel to Indianapolis to play the Colts. The Titans are 1-2. The Colts are 1-1. Indianapolis favored by 3.5.
Okay, so Indianapolis might be the most frustrating team in the NFL for me. Okay, so they get shut out by Jacksonville, and then they go home and they beat the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Because, now maybe Jacksonville's better than we thought because they went and destroyed the Chargers.
Yeah.
With Justin Herbert, hobbling in there. I got the Colts here. They're, I just think, I think Tennessee's just got so many issues with their, with the way things have been going.
Yeah.
Ryan Tannehill's not playing very well. They got dismantled by the Bills. They got beat by the New York Giants in the first week at home in the home opener. So yeah, I got the Colts here. What's the point spread?
3.5.
3.5. I probably wouldn't touch this one if I was betting on it. I kind of see Indy winning by a field goal.
All right. I'm going to go with the Titans on this one. I am not convinced with this Colts team. I'm just not convinced whatsoever. You get a real good quarterback, Matt Ryan, who is going to go to the Hall of Fame. There's no question about it. But it's what have they been able to do? Because yeah, they got blown out by Jacksonville. Then they beat the Chiefs. And then they probably should have won against the Texans. Probably. Not really sure.
Yeah, I kind of missed that game. It was all overtime, and nobody could win, right?
With Tennessee, they just have a very hard beginning to their season because I don't think anybody expected them to lose to the Giants, and they did. They got shellacked in Buffalo, and they barely get by the Raiders.
Yeah.
Now you're going to play the Colts.
Well, if you see what happened in week one with what Saquon Barkley was able to do against their defense, Jonathan Taylor's going to do the same thing. That's kind of the reason why I'm taking the Colts here.
I'm going to go with the Titans on this one.
All right. So we've won opposite picks on
3 games.
Is it 3 out of the 5?
Yeah.
Hopefully. Okay. This is exciting, man.
All right. Then we've got the Chicago Bears going to the New York Giants. Both teams are 2-1. The Giants are favored by 3.
These two teams are probably the surprise of the league for me. The Giants could have been 3-0.
Mm-hmm.
They had a tough Monday night game. And the Bears, I picked the Bears to win 2 games this year. And they're already 2-1. They beat the 49ers in week 1. That was crazy. That knocked a lot of survivor picks out. I'm going to go with the Giants here. They're at home. Okay, so if you look at the stats, Justin Fields has played 3 games and he's completed 23 passes. 23 passes, and they're 2-1.
Yeah.
So they're winning with the run game, they're winning with defense. I just think that the Giants will be able to score more points and maybe take a couple balls away from Fields and make him throw the ball. If you sit back and make him throw it, spy him, then you can definitely beat him. So Giants for me.
I'm also going with the Giants. I think this team is for real. I don't think they're going to win the division. I could see them as a wild card. I really could.
3 teams from the East. That would be something that nobody predicted.
I mean, they just have this new passion of life from, that everyone has seen. And, they've stuck in it. That's the key thing.
Yeah.
Like a year ago, if they had played that game against the Titans, if they had played that game against the Panthers and the Cowboys, they would have given up last year.
Yep.
This team, with their new coach, they've just found new life. And it's kind of exciting to see right now. And as much as, the Bears are going to be entertaining to watch with Justin Fields, now that he's got the idea of, what the offense is supposed to be, it's going to be a good game. I still think the Giants are going to win, but I think it's going to be very close.
And you said it was a 4-point spread?
Let me check real quick. It was 3.
3. Okay. Yeah, that one, like, I don't know if you guys that are watching this are in pools where you have to pick every game. This one would be tough. I would probably stay away from this one. 3 points is probably going to be what happens here. So
Jacksonville Jaguars travel to Philadelphia to play the Eagles. The Jaguars are 2-1. The Eagles are 3-0. I am pretty sure nobody had that one coming.
This is exciting. Because this is the return of the coach, right? The Super Bowl coach.
This is the return.
And Kyle Brandt, NFL Network, said something amazing this week. I don't know if you caught it. He said Peterson could be the first coach to have statues in front of 2 stadiums. Because if he wins the Super Bowl with the Jaguars, he's going to have a statue outside Jacksonville Stadium, right next to the swimming pool.
He'll be put in the Hall of Fame overnight.
Yeah.
Philadelphia is favored by 6.5.
Yeah, they should be. Philly's offense has just been unreal.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like a video game out there. Jalen Hurts, and he's got lots of weapons now. You can see that he's actually had the same coordinator now, 2 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
I know he hadn't had the same coordinator, including college, for like 5 or 6 years straight.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see for him. The Eagles, they look like one of the best teams in the NFL right now. Let's see like Jacksonville with the huge win last week. The return. I don't know if I would bet on the Eagles here with the 6.5, but I'm going to take them to win this game, money line.
I am also going to take the Eagles to win this game, although I think they may have a little bit of a harder time stopping the Jacksonville offense than they did with Washington last week. If you give Trevor Lawrence time, he's gonna get you a 30-40 yard pass.
Yep.
But this is kind of fun to see how the Jaguars have been so far. And again, I'm beating a dead horse with this. You can make an argument the Jaguars could be 3-0 right now. So it's going to be a fun game.
And one of the funniest stats ever that I read today is that Peterson is tied for 5th all time.
Oh, yes.
Jacksonville wins with Urban Meyer. And he's only coached 3 games. Urban Meyer won 2 games. He has tied the illustrious Urban Meyer in Jacksonville history.
Oh,
so I had to get that in because
that
was like funny stuff.
That is one of the funniest.
How they have a coaching ranks list for a team that's only been around like 20 plus years. Because when they come in 95, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Urban Meyer is top 5 in Jacksonville coaching. Well, not anymore. Like after Jacksonville wins their next game, then he'll be 6th place. So
but he'll be in the top 6.
And Fox hired him back after he like kicked the kicker. Like I don't understand, man.
Yeah,
And
that's
he'll probably get another job at a high top 5 power school.
that,
Eventually.
that's another story for another time.
Yeah, probably.
Uh, the Jets go to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers. Both teams 1-2. Pittsburgh favored by a field goal.
Man, how the mighty have fallen.
Mm.
The Jets going on the road and they're only a 3-point underdog. I gotta go Pittsburgh here. Zach Wilson's supposed to be coming back. The Jets, their one win was that crazy comeback.
Mm-hmm.
The Browns. It was such a Cleveland thing to do.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh at home. Like I know TJ Watt's out, but I think that defense will create some havoc. And yeah, probably get a couple interceptions, sack fumble, stuff like that. Low scoring, probably.
I'm also going with the Steelers on this one. They need a game like this, and they got it. I know there was talks of, are they going to pull Trubisky? I think it's too early to do that.
Well, if you're going to pull him after 3 games, you might as well just start Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
Like honestly, like no offense to Mitch Trubisky, but there's not much he can teach Kenny Pickett about how to be a quarterback. That's just the way I feel. It's not like Mitchell Trubisky's 35 years old and he's played in the league for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
He played a couple years in Chicago and then he was a backup on Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like he has all this experience too.
Right. Good segue there because the Buffalo Bills travel to Baltimore to play the Ravens. Both teams 2-1. Buffalo favored by a field goal.
Yeah, I think Buffalo bounces back here. Buffalo is the favorite here.
Yeah.
But man, Lamar Jackson's been playing lights out. It's going to be a tough game for Buffalo's defense. But I do think that Buffalo will win a high-scoring game here. I'll say they cover the spread. Probably win by 7.
We're going to be having fireworks on that one Sunday.
Yeah.
Like
this could be a playoff preview too.
It could.
Wouldn't be surprised.
It could. It honestly could. I'm going with Buffalo as well. They're going to rebound from this week.
They got to bounce back.
Yeah, plus the Ravens, they played a New England team that's not really New England, and we'll talk about them in a little bit in their situation, but this is a Bills team that I still think is the class of the AFC right now. Even if Miami is a game better than them, I still think Buffalo's the best team in the AFC at this point. The Los Angeles Chargers head to Houston to play the Texans. The Chargers are 1-2. The Texans are 0-2-1. Chargers are favored by 5.
0-2-1. What a record.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They got to bounce back here, Chargers. That was very disappointing performance against the Jaguars at home. I know Herbert was injured. And you probably should have sat him out for the week. But it's the Texans. I don't believe too much about this. Like if the Chargers drop another one, there could be concern there, especially with the opponents. So I'm taking Chargers here. I think the 5 points, they'll cover the 5 points.
This is my upset special. I'm going to Texans on this one.
And the Texans do this every year to somebody.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not even surprised. It's a good chance for an upset, too. 5-point underdog.
As much as I like Justin Herbert, I don't think he is fully 100% from the rib injuries.
Definitely wasn't.
I think there's still maybe a little bit of injury. I think he may have a little bit of fear at this point in time right now. This is a perfect opportunity for the Texans to sneak in, upset the Chargers, and just throw everybody off. I'm taking Houston in an upset.
Upset alert. Upset alert.
Arizona Cardinals travel to Carolina to play the Panthers.
I got to pick an upset too, then, I guess.
Yeah, you do. The Cardinals travel to Carolina to play the Panthers. Both teams 1-2. Carolina favored by 1.5 points.
Well, okay, so Carolina's won 2 games in the last 2 years at home, both against the Saints. So they're not very good at home. Arizona, they're a hard team to pick.
They are.
Kyler Murray running around. Yeah, they beat the Raiders in a crazy overtime game. They are 1-2 as well, right?
Yeah.
They have 2 losses. That's what I thought. I think Arizona can go in there and win this game. Baker Mayfield did look like pure trash in that game versus the Saints. The defense and CMC was what won that game for them.
Right.
So I'm going to take Arizona here in, I guess, an upset because 1.5 points.
I'm going to go with the Cardinals as well. I just can't buy Carolina. I really can't. I mean, they had this stat where, like, under their coach, they've only won like 3 games when the final score is like a possession. I cannot buy the Panthers. Absolutely cannot. As much as I think Baker Mayfield's a good quarterback, I just can't buy him. I think this coach should be getting his resume ready to look for a new place to work real soon.
Yeah, he's 11-25 in 3 years.
Yeah.
And Adam Schefter just tweeted, Christian McCaffrey did not practice today due to a thigh injury. So
would it really be an upset?
It's Wednesday. He's kind of a veteran now.
Yeah.
They usually don't practice, especially if they're banged up a little bit. He'll probably be playing in this game.
Yeah.
But
all right. The Patriots travel to Green Bay to play the Packers. Patriots 1-2, Packers 2-1. Green Bay favored by 9.5 points. This is the biggest spread of the week, by the way.
It's only 9.5. It should be 19.5. Brian Hoyer is starting this game.
Oh man.
He's still in the NFL, if you guys didn't know. Jesus. Aaron Rodgers is licking his chops here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Bill Belichick, he always takes away number one option usually.
Yeah.
I don't even know who that is in Green Bay. Romeo Doubs looked pretty good. Aaron Jones and Dillon out of the backfield is kind of like what they're doing.
Yeah.
Rodgers doesn't trust a lot of the receivers there. But yeah, I'm Packers all the way, and they're going to cover.
Yeah, it's Green Bay.
Brian Hoyer, come on, are you serious? They don't have other backups.
I mean, unless we get this message that Jack Moans is coming in to replace the quarterback for the game.
I think Shane Falco would do a better job. You know Shane Falco, right?
I think I do.
Keanu Reeves from Replacements.
Oh yeah, that's right. I saw that. That's a good movie.
You're like, I think I know him. I'm like, I don't think you do. I'm going to tell you. It's silly.
It's been like 20 years since I've seen that whole movie.
Oh, it's wonderful. They beat the Cowboys. They beat the Cowboys.
Yes, they do. Although, again, folks, they twist it up for the movies because, I actually, real quick before we go to the next game, we have on tape the famous 87 game where the replacement team beat the Dallas Cowboys on Monday night.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's like 30 plus years old and that tape still works.
Oh, man. You got to copy that for me and send it to me.
I will find a way to do that.
Okay.
All right.
I have a few friends that are Cowboy fans that, I would love to invite over, and I'll just have it playing on the TV when they come in. Like, what
Remember when Danny White got his ass beat by a bunch of replacements?
Just start yelling at him when they walk through the door. It'll be great.
You know what? I will say, in all seriousness, one of the few good things that Dan Snyder has done as owner is give all the replacement players their Super Bowl ring. That's one of the few good things he has done.
Oh, that's good. There's not too many good things on that list. So.
I know. It's actually near the top of the list.
Hard to sit here and defend Dan Snyder.
I know. It is. There's like he's done like only 2 or 3 good things the entire time, and that is one. All right, Denver Broncos. They travel to Las Vegas to play the Raiders. The Broncos 2-1. The Raiders are 0-3. Las Vegas is favored by 2.5.
And man, the Broncos just look awful. They're 2-1, but they could be 0-3. Like they lost to the Seahawks.
11-10.
Yeah, 11-10.
11
I'm a little
to
sour
10.
because I was going out on a limb with my 49er pick.
I'm gonna look up while you
But,
talk about it if that has ever
man,
happened before.
I think they talked about it on the broadcast. I think there was an 11-10 game, like maybe in the snow. But like September 11-10, like Jimmy Garoppolo just forgot where he was, stepped out of bounds, which was ridiculous. The Broncos offense is not clicking at this point. They got all the players. They're just not clicking. The Raiders gotta eventually. This is their opportunity. They're at home. I'm taking the Raiders. I guess this would be considered an upset, but I'm taking the Raiders, definitely. I think they're going to get on track. Now, the big matchup to watch here is Pat Surtain and Devontae Adams.
Mhm.
Now, if Surtain follows him around, it's going to be tough for the Raiders. And what you see right now is Carr. He's just looking at Adams. Like he needs to spread the ball around. That's what their issue is for me so far, from what I've seen from the Raiders. But I do think the Raiders pull off a victory here.
So I went to Scoregami, which
Scoregami, nice.
it's a real thing. I follow it on Twitter. It's awesome. The 11-10 score only happened one other time. November 16th, 2008. I don't know the game exactly.
Probably more 11-10 games in baseball and hockey than there is in football.
Yeah.
Which is surprising because, well, baseball is like you get a lot of high scoring games sometimes. Yeah. Bad pitchers and stuff.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me pull that back up real quick. Oh, dear Lord.
I think I've seen 11-10 game.
Okay, real quick, not sports related. There's a video up where President Joe Biden is asking for Jackie Walorski at a conference.
Yeah.
Walorski died in a car accident in August.
Oh. There you go, Joe. I've said this in the past, and I don't want to like trash your president because I'm
no, Canadian. Please do. Please do.
Honestly, if Joe Biden was my grandpa, I wouldn't let him go to Walmart by himself. Okay? I'm serious. I'd be like, Grandpa Joe, I'm just going out for some orange juice. No, you're not. We'll go with you. Don't worry about it.
All right.
Okay? Because he doesn't know what's happening. He should have retired 10 years ago, and now he's running the country.
Vote for me 2024, folks.
And we got the young Justin Trudeau here in Canada, so it's not like we're doing any better.
I know.
He just worries about his hair and his like how he looks on TV and stuff. So,
and
always good. I'm not bitter.
There's your political segment for the week.
Yes, we don't talk politics on here, but I will trash the president of the United States any chance I can get.
And I would open the door.
And at me if you want to talk politics. It's all good.
All right. Now this next game, gonna do a little explanation on this one because it's the Kansas City Chiefs at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Both teams are 2-1. Kansas City is favored by a point. Now, as of this recording, the game is going to happen in Tampa.
Yeah.
Everyone knows about Hurricane Ian. It's got up to a Category 4. I think it even got to a Category 5 at one point. It is going to hit the Tampa Bay area either today or tomorrow.
Yeah.
So as of right now, the game is happening in Tampa. They are looking into a couple of other options in case they can't play in Tampa.
Yeah, like I was thinking, like, why don't they just go to the Superdome? Because the Saints are in London.
Minnesota's another one.
Yeah. And I know the Saints, during Hurricane Katrina, they played in San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
There are options.
There are.
Don't cancel the game. Don't give Tom Brady an out here against the Chiefs. Now, I don't care where this game's being played. Tampa's in trouble with their receivers. Mike Evans will be back after his suspension. But Julio looked great against the Cowboys, and then he got hurt. I don't know when and where he got hurt. but he looked like 10 years younger. So if he can come back, Leonard Fournette, they got a good team.
Hmm.
But I'd like to know what the Chiefs' record is after a loss under Andy Reid. It's probably pretty good.
I'd say it's pretty.
Patrick Mahomes after a loss, not that he's had a ton of losses in his regular season career, probably pretty good. Bucks coming off a loss too. This is a tough schedule for Tampa.
Hmm.
You got Green Bay at home, and then you got Kansas City at home. I got the Chiefs here. I like if the game goes ahead in Tampa, I think it'll be a little closer. See how many fans they can get there.
Yeah.
With what happens, I guess will be determining factor.
Yeah.
But yeah, as this recording, it sounds like it's still planned for the Sunday night game.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm gonna take Mahomes here. And he is this the first time they've played since the Super Bowl loss? I don't know if they had a regular season
I don't
game
remember if
the
they
following
did
year.
play last year or not.
But this is probably weighing on Mahomes here because he didn't play very good in that game.
Yeah, and this is if this is Brady's final year, this is Mahomes' last shot, more than likely.
Yeah, unless they made the Super Bowl this year.
Right. Which
Which-
I can't.
I really hope not. I don't want to watch that again. Tom Brady can just go away.
I'll watch for Mahomes, not for
Yeah.
Brady.
Yeah. Chiefs for me, and they're going to cover. It's only
I'm
one
gonna,
point.
yeah, I'm gonna take the Chiefs as well
Okay.
on this one. I think this is gonna be a good game. I think the Kansas City defense is just gonna shine, and they're just gonna be a nightmare for the wide receivers, even with Mike Evans there. You don't have Goodwin, you don't have Jones as of right now.
Yeah. Jones is questionable. It sounds like he was going to play last week, and they just had a little bit of a setback.
Yeah,
So maybe they just kept him out for another week for this game.
yeah.
But see what happens.
Yep.
So we're both on the Chiefs.
Yes. And the Monday night game, the Los Angeles Rams go to San Francisco to play the 49ers. Rams 2-1. The 49ers 1-2. San Francisco favored by 1.5.
Yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo didn't look that comfortable against the Broncos.
Mm-mm.
He didn't have a training camp. This is tough because they said, like, we don't want you anymore.
Yeah.
Right? And then they couldn't trade him because he had surgery. And then he lowered his cap hit so he could stay there and be the backup. And now, worst case scenario, Trey Lance out, and now he's the guy. And now you got to pretend all that stuff you were saying about him is not what you actually believe. Like, they don't want him.
I mean,
So I think that's going to have, like, I know Jimmy's going to maybe try to make a couple extra plays here. It's probably in his head.
mhm.
And the Rams defense, they had a tough week one, but they've looked pretty good since.
Yeah.
I got the Rams here, and I'm really surprised that the Niners are favored in this game.
I mean, reports came out towards the end of last week that if he had not had the surgery, he was going to be traded to Washington.
Yeah, for a bunch of draft picks. So
But I think as far as giving up trade picks, Washington ended up on the better end, only having to give up a third and a fourth. So
yeah,
I'm gonna take the Rams on this one. San Francisco, I can't figure them out right now. I
No.
just can't, because it's like you have the bad game against the Bears in the rain. You could make an excuse on that one.
I was giving an excuse for that one. Then they looked really good against Seattle.
Yeah, and then you play Denver and you lose, and your quarterback runs out of the end zone, and Dan Orlovsky is taken off the hook for all of eternity.
Did you hear Mike Tirico say that?
Mm.
Dan Orlovsky, pulling Dan Orlovsky.
And then Orlovsky's like, freedom!
Someone did it besides me.
Yes. But yeah, I'm
Yeah.
going to take the Rams to win this one.
I'm thinking like Jimmy Garoppolo, like when he gets pressured, it's like he's not very good.
Mm-hmm.
And Aaron Donald up the middle.
Yeah.
It sounds like Trent Williams is going to be out for a few weeks here at least.
Yeah.
And that pass rush on the Rams. Like, they don't have Von Miller anymore, but still pretty good pass rush.
Still a good defense, yeah.
And Jalen Ramsey will probably be on 49ers Samuel, top guy. So
Yeah.
I think that
Alright.
one will be kind of like it's a 1.5 spread for 49ers.
Yeah.
That surprises me. I would be shocked by kickoff if the Rams weren't favored.
Yeah. All right. Well, do you all agree or disagree with our picks? Leave a comment in the comment section below. If you like what you saw here and you'd like to see more of my videos, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to click on the bell and you'll be notified of a brand new video right away. Thank you all for watching this video. Or if you're listening on podcast, thank you for listening to the podcast and enjoy week 4 of the NFL.